This is the home of Steele, Beck, Limbaugh, Elswick, and Hannity. KARN News Radio 102.9 FM.
Dave Elswick Show, KARN. Good to have you along for the ride today. Scott and I just confirmed that we're going to Florida. No, we're not. We're not making a byway to New York first and then to Florida. That's not what's happening. Just make sure you understand that. Scott's happily married. I'm happily married. We're going. He just picked up on it. Okay. No, we've got a personal invite to come down and broadcast live the 23rd from the Florida CPAC. So we'll be doing our show live from there. And just give you an idea, all the presidential candidates are going to be there. So we'll try to get who we can on the air with us, as well as some of the other names that are going to be there that will be fun to talk to. S.E. Cupp's going to be there. Ann Coulter is going to be there. Bill Kristol is going to be there. Grover Norquist, and I know we'll get Grover on. He'll be there. Senator Marco Rubio, Senator Jim Talent, they're all going to be there. So they told us that they're going to set us up right outside the green room. Now, the green room is where everybody gathers, and they'll be coming and going, and we can grab them as they walk by. Of course, I'll be sending a immediate text to Alice Stewart and talking about getting Michelle Bachmann on. So that should be fun. I'm sure names. We can get them. Yeah, well, you know what? We try to go where we get invited to, and that came in not more. How long ago did we find out about this? 45 minutes ago? Yeah, so we made our plane reservations already. We're on our way. They're supplying all the... I don't think we'll have to carry any equipment. You got Dave's email, don't you? Yeah, send him and ask him how they're going to have that all set up and everything, because you tell him we're not paying for the phone line. They told us they would.
Make sure you...
David Lucas, how are you?
I was just going to say, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back this Thursday. Make sure you get a unionized guy to put down that line.
Lord.
I remember you telling me about that story.
We've got reciprocity with Florida, so I might have to carry my handgun with me.
There you go.
And if I have any more run-ins with unions, I might have to banish. I don't know. Anyway, hi, Jane. How are you? Jane English is in the studio. She's sitting here laughing. She's laughing at me.
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
And it's good to have you back with us. She was with us on Tuesday. She joins us again on Thursday because Tuesday we wanted to talk about the Attorney General getting that letter from you and Alan Kerr and what was all going on about that. Now, I think I saw a blogger post that said the Attorney General says he's going to let you know in a couple of days or something?
That's right. So hopefully by no later than next Wednesday, we ought to have some answer back.
Okay, so we'll know exactly about this whole thing about Shane Broadway.
Right.
Okay, and you know what? I like Shane Broadway. Everybody understand I'm friends with the guy. I'm friends with his wife. I like his wife a lot. I guess I should say that I like her a lot, but she's a friend. All right. The other thing, but this whole thing about putting Broadway into this job position is questionable because he does not meet the requirements of the job position. And if you're going to have requirements, you need to follow them. You just can't continue to run the good old boy club here in Arkansas. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing, is it not?
I think that's exactly what we're seeing, and it's something that's been going on for 150 years.
Yeah.
And we need to make some changes in that direction. New thoughts, new ideas, new people, and well-qualified people.
David Lucas, imagine that.
Yeah, imagine
150 years of everybody scratching everybody's back, and a few legislators saying, you know what? maybe it's time to stop that.
Actually, it's time to start following the rules.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that idea. But I didn't bring Jane on to talk about that specifically today. I brought her on because she's term limited as far as the House. Is that correct?
No, I
You're
have
not?
one more term in the House.
Okay, you got one more term in the House.
But there is an open seat in the Senate.
Okay.
Marianne Salmons, who is in that District 31 right now, it has been, as throughout the state, that's been changed. It's now District 34. We'll include some new areas and do away with some other areas. Jacksonville is going to be in it, and most of Sherwood and most of North Little Rock and a lot of Maumelle will be. And so tomorrow I am going to have my kickoff for my campaign at the American Pie Pizza in North Little Rock, right
Okay.
off of McCain Boulevard. And I'll welcome anybody to come.
What time?
11:30.
Okay.
11:30.
I live in Sherwood.
I'm thinking
Excellent.
about coming over because see, I can go. That's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, 11:30. You'd stop off there on your way in here.
I'm thinking,
Have
Scott.
some pizza.
Well, I
They
think
got
we
good
should.
pizza.
Well, yeah, I like their pizza. I should go over because I'm live tomorrow over at Kitchen and Bath Designs on Markham, so I could stop in maybe for half hour,
Yeah,
45 minutes. Come and shake your hand.
Right.
Congratulate you.
Exactly.
Start calling you Senator early.
Yes.
You know, that kind of stuff. What made you? You know, you had another term left. What makes you want to move into the Senate? What is it about that? To quote the more deliberative body.
Well, I think I have enjoyed my time in the House and feel like there's still a lot left to do. It is an open seat, and believe I'm eminently qualified to move into that seat and represent the people in that district.
Any idea who might be running for your old House seat?
No, not at this moment. There's a couple of people who are talking about it, but I don't have anybody definite I can tell you about.
Like a good, solid conservatives?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
just want to make sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I would.
I don't want to give up a good conservative in the House for a good conservative in the Senate.
We've got good conservatives in the House, and we hope to, and we plan to maintain that, so that we continue to have. Because there'll be a lot of other folks who are either term limited or who are running for the Senate in other parts of the state, and we want to make sure that the House, first, that we have a majority, and that we have a good group of conservatives. And I can honestly say we have elected the last session and this last time, 2010, some really super people who have an opportunity to do a lot of good things for the state in the future. Young, bright people who really want to do some good things, and that's encouraging.
All right, so what I'd like you to talk about for a few moments with us before we get into the break is some of the ideas and some of the things that you're thinking about that you're going to be running on.
Well, I think probably a major thing, I was in state government for a number of years, had an opportunity to see how it operates. And one of the things, plus being in the state legislature for 2 terms, one of the things you really realize is that even though we have a revenue stabilization law, that doesn't necessarily mean that we are spending our money well and wisely. And I think one of the things that I'm really interested in is making sure that we have transparency and that we understand and look at the programs that we're funding to determine whether or not they are in fact efficient, whether we need to keep them up, whether they need additional funding, and that they have each of those programs have some goals and objectives and so we can measure results.
Okay, and so you want a brand new branch, or you want to develop some kind of a panel, or
I had of course some legislation that was killed quickly in the state agencies committee, but basically it used the performance and evaluation committee that we already have in the legislature to begin to and put some staff with it that would begin to look at all of the programs that we're working with in state government. It's very difficult when you have people elected in November, and then in January they come to the legislature. In this last session we had 47 new House members, not all Republican, but 47 new House members. And in January then you start thinking about the budget and passing laws. Well, it's so overwhelming to most new people, even people who are not there long enough. And there's no good information for people to make decisions on, as far as the budget's concerned. So that's one of the things I really hope to do, is so that everybody, whether it's Democrat or Republican, in the legislature, has access to good information about each of the programs, so that when it's time to pass the appropriation bills, you're not just passing an appropriation for something you know nothing about. And that's our main job, is to watch out for the budget. It's not necessarily to pass new laws.
All right, so boy, let me hold on. Now, let me give you a round of applause that you understand, at least, that your job is not just to pass new laws. I like that whole idea. As far as this would go, evidently you would like all of that to be taken care of, as far as they're doing their due diligence with all these different programs, so that the people who have been elected could be handed maybe a book or something and say, here, take a look at this, and vote accordingly.
Well, in a number of states with new governors, that's been almost the first thing that so many of these governors have done. Mitch Daniel in Indiana did this a number of years ago, and even Governor O'Malley in Maryland he believes strongly that you can't make good decisions without data. And so both of those governors, in different methods, but set up organizations that would begin to look at those things, so we can do a better job of spending our citizens, our taxpayers, whether it's federal money or state money, spending their dollars and making sure that they're getting the services that we think they're getting.